Quando não fecha um anel nessa identificação, qual que é o passo para a gente fazer? Existe no Brasil um mito, não sei se é um mito, mas um funcionamento, de que a educação ela é responsável por identificar essas pessoas superdotadas, fazendo uso da teoria dos três anéis. Quando avaliam-se por atividades mais abertas, com zero evidência científica, eles acabam identificando que a pessoa não tem os três anéis. Ora não tem a criatividade, ora não tem a habilidade acima da média, ora não tem a motivação. Mas o nosso sistema escolar é muito prejudicial a atender às demandas das pessoas típicas. E geralmente as pessoas ficam de fora dos atendimentos porque não fechou um anel. Qual o impacto, o prejuízo, né, nas funções executivas de pessoas dotadas, talentosas, que não são atendidas adequadamente? Existe um prejuízo efetivo nas funções executivas, na regulação emocional? Qual que é o impacto disso na identificação?
Well, first of all, the student who is not challenged, especially with opportunities to develop their creative productivity, will quickly become very bored in school. School will not be an enjoyable and engaging and interesting place to be. Secondly, and I think this is even more important, people always ask me, what's the purpose of gifted education? And my response is to increase the supply of the world's reservoir of creative and productive people, the kind of people that make inventions for the cure of a disease, the kinds of people that design new fashions for the fashion industry, the kinds of people that write interesting books, or the kinds of people who make movies. Steven Spielberg, for example, was never considered a gifted child, but indeed he has become one of the world's most famous filmmakers. And so I believe that the economy of a country is based on creativity, innovation, the kinds of things that creative people do. Someone starts a business on how to make a new product, they employ hundreds, maybe even thousands of people. So I believe that just teaching kids advanced material will not do that as much as focusing on also applying knowledge in a creative and productive fashion.
Como a teoria se aplica na educação de crianças duas vezes excepcionais, dado que muitas vezes ela não cumpre, não atinge os indicadores dentro dos três anéis, se a pessoa não tem uma experiência com a avaliação da pessoa superdotada?
There has been a great deal of research recently in the US and elsewhere on twice exceptional children. And I believe that the value of the both the three ring theory and the enrichment triad model is that we look at the strengths of those children rather than their deficits. And a lot of people have picked up on this in the writing about twice exceptional. So if a child has a deficit, the education system usually will spend more time remediating and, in some cases, beating the child to death to overcome the deficit. Whereas my work always looks at strengths, the kinds of things that allow youngsters to use their thinking skills, their creativity, their motivation in order to do something with knowledge and information. And so I think that the theory is very, very useful in twice exceptional children. And in most articles on twice exceptional children, you will see the three ring conception referenced.
Fale um pouco sobre a aplicação dos três tipos de ensinamento curricular dentro do plano de educação individualizado, na perspectiva da diferenciação em sala de aula regular. Por que é tão difícil atender o superdotado em sala de aula comum?
Well, I think that the three ring, the enrichment triad model has focused on the kinds of things that, number one, help youngsters become interested in a topic. And again, I mentioned earlier, it could be a field trip, it could be something that they read, it could be something that they nowadays, all of the resources of the world are listed online through the internet. It's the hook that gets somebody interested in something. And then type two enrichment basically is, what are the kinds of skills that you need to investigate that topic further? And again, the payoff is always type three enrichment, where you use your interest from the type one, the skills you need to investigate it as type two, and then using that to do a creative, productive project, individually or in small groups.
No Brasil, existe uma resistência à aceleração escolar muito grande quando se fala em superdotação. Qual que é a sua experiência? O que que você acredita, né? Porque existem evidências científicas de que a aceleração, de fato, é uma das melhores possibilidades pedagógicas quando há indicação. E por que é uma restrição, uma resistência tão grande do ambiente escolar em relação à aceleração escolar?
Well, I think a lot of that just depends on local school regulations. And in some places, grade skipping is allowed. In other cases, it is not allowed. And those are things that are usually dictated by the Ministry of Education or by, again, in the US, every school district has a board of education, and they make the rules about things like that. I believe that it's very difficult because it really involves national or regional, state, or local policies. But I do believe that we are seeing some greater degree of flexibility on that. One of the things that I've developed is an approach called enrichment curricular infusion, where, yes, we do cover the regular curriculum, but within that, we try to infuse some enrichment activities.